Today, thank you, I am back to Car Stereo. I have a 2010 Nissan Murano here with the Bose system. I have the removal guides for the car stereo, the turn signals, and repair the CD changer on the website. But today I'm going to show you how to take the door panel off to access the speaker. So I'm going to start with my small flathead screwdriver and go to the door open handle, and right in front of the door lock is a little slot where you can put the screwdriver in here and pry this panel out. Now this panel, when it goes back in, it has a little hook on the front of it. The front will go in first, the back will go in and snap into place. So that will take care of this. This is going to access a 10mm bolt right here. Next we're going to go back and take two pry bars, and we're going to pry up the edges of the control panel starting at the bottom. Starting at the bottom here, it'll release it up just a little bit and allow us to work up the edges of this. I'm going to make sure the window is in the full upright position before I disconnect this. And when we get the back up, the clips will release up along the edges. And when you get the back up far enough to clear, you want to pull this back, and then it'll lift up out of the opening. The reason for that is there is a hook on the front of this like there is for the panel here, so the hook has to go up in first to put this back into place, and when you get it pushed up snug, this will snap back down into place. Now with the control panel up out of the cavity, we have three connectors here. They have triggers on them. There are three different connectors, so there's no need to label these as to where they go back. But I'm going to start with the middle one here because you can see the trigger right there on the top. And I'm going to take my thumbnail, push that trigger down, releases the little lock, and it will release. Now if we come to the very top one here, we have the trigger on the top here, and we're going to push that trigger down, and it will release. In order to put these connectors back, they fit the spot only one way. And then on the third connector, we have a trigger down here as well that'll release. We can set this panel to the side now. Let's just make sure that you count three, and you have three when you get this door panel back on and up, coming back up out of the opening. Now we're going to come back to the pry bars, and we're going to start on this armrest and sort of go towards the back of it and try to pry the back of it up first, or back up and away, up off the panel here. There we go. I got my fingers in there to release it up a little bit, and there it goes. It snaps right off. And this one has no special going on or anything. It's line it up, line all the clips up with the openings, and push it down into place. Now that we're got all these off, we're going to move to our 10mm. We have three exposed screws now. One here in the handhold, or excuse me, one in the door open handle area. We're going to remove. We have one down in here. This is a black screw down inside where the control panel was located. If you need help with anything else on this car, see CarStereoHELP.com. We have a second black screw here in under the armrest, which was securing the door. Let's see if these screws are all the same. The two for the one for the under the armrest and under the control panel are the two longer screws. The shorter fine thread is the one that goes into the opening for the door handle. Now this should allow us to take the door off. Most doors, the top sill goes down into the windowsill. This is a straight stick-on panel. So we can take our pry bars and work around the edges, or we can use our finger strength and work our way around, releasing these clips. And it's always this back one that's the tough one. Okay, there we go. Now let's see what we get when this door panel comes off. Okay, I can see several things have happened here already. I have a light bulb here that illuminates part of the door that came off of the door. I'll show you how to take care of that. We also have a connector way down at the bottom here that deals with the lighting on the back of the door for the light here that we're going to have to disconnect. And we also have the two cables that go to the door lock and the door handle. First we're going to work on the two cables that go to the door handle and the door lock. There's again no need to label these cables, they go back to only one position. But the trick to these is to go down to the white piece that's securing it into the mechanism, and just with finger pressure you can pull this right up out, and this loosens the cable. Now we're going to want to push this switch around so that the end comes around to an opening that will lift right up and release. Now this end has a, I guess you would say, a 90-degree on it. And then we're going to do the same for the second. This one will also pull up out of the opening, come around and release out of the opening. This one has a small ball on the end, so when it comes time to put this back, it goes into the slot, comes around, pushes into the thing, and you snap it back into place. This goes for both these, back into the top and snap them into place. Now these will get these out of the way. Like I said, we have the front light bulb we're going to have to take care of here, but this is going to allow us to pull up the, look at the bottom connector here for the courtesy light on the bottom. And this one does have a little connector or trigger on the top. I'm going to try and push that trigger down and at the same time pull the wire out, and that will release. Now what I'm going to do next is the light switch here. It does have a connector on it too. What happened was it fell out of the door panel spot that it's in, and this also has a trigger on it, so I'm going to push the trigger down, release the light bulb, and this light bulb comes right up in here in the front and locks right into place here, so that when we go back to put this back together, that will all light up and we can connect this connector as well. The door panel will just push back on when it's ready. I'll say, getting to the speaker, this is an easy one today. So I'm going to remove the 3 screws that secure this, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to take the connector that goes to it. Again, this connector has a trigger right in the center of it. Push that down with your thumb and wiggle this loose. Now there is one thing I did forget to mention here. After you remove the door panel, check the door panel itself and the door to make sure all the clips were removed. And I happen to have one clip remaining here in the door, on the door, that I will pry off and put back onto the panel. Once it pries off, it slides back into a groove, and it'll be there when you're ready to put it back together. Again, if you need any help with car stereo, see CarStereoHELP.com. And let me see what happens here when we get this out of here. This is how you replace a Bose speaker in a 2010 Nissan Murano. Hope this video has been helpful. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching.